Equation and inequalities practice. For your homework tonight, the first one asks you which of the following equations is equivalent to the equation shown below. In the equation that you are given, we can see that all of them have a fraction, but in our answer choices, the equations all have whole numbers. So you're going to have to find a multiple so that when you divide by your denominators, you're going to have a whole number as an answer. So please keep that in mind as you do number 1. When we look at number 2, look at the inequalities shown below. We've got 3 inequalities. Which of the inequalities has a 3 as a possible solution? Which means when I use 3 in the inequality, which ones are true? So let's take the first one, and I get -5 times 3 plus 8. Is it greater than 23? Pause your video so that you can solve this inequality and check with me. When I multiply -5 times 3, I get -15. I add that to 8, and I get -7. -7, is it greater than 23? And the answer is no. So this inequality is false, and that means that 3 is not a possible solution. So let's try the second one. We've got 3/4 of 3 minus 2. We want the value to see if it's less than 1. 3/4, it's 9 over 4, minus 2 is less than or equal to 1. 2 1/4 minus 2, is it less than or equal to 1? 25 hundredths is less than or equal to 1, so my inequality is true. So I'm going to choose my inequality number 2 in my answer choice. And then we also want to make sure we check 3. So 10 minus 6 times 3, is it less than or equal to -8? Pause your video so that you can solve your inequality. So as you look at your inequality, we have -8 is less than or equal to -8. Since we have our equal to sign, -8 is equal to -8. This inequality is true, so I found that inequality 2 and 3 are true, which is answer choice B. Question number 3 says that a student entered an equation into a graphing calculator and looked at the table. Which of the following is the solution to the equation? All of your answer choices are in reference to x, so as you look at x, does the value of 7 even appear in your table? The answer is no, so we want to go ahead and mark that off. As we look at number 4, a student entered an inequality into a graphing calculator and looked at the table. And remember that an inequality does contain more than one answer. It contains a solution set. Which of the following represents the solution to the inequality if the value of the inequality is less than 9? So we are looking for 9 in our table in the y column because that's the value of the inequality. We can see that the value of the inequality of 9 has an x value of 1. So 1 is going to be our determining factor. We're going to use 1 as our reference point. We want the values of the inequality that are less than 9. The numbers that are less than 9 are in this section of the table. In order for that section of the table to be less than 9, we must use the x values that are less than 1. We want x to be less than 1, so it's not going to be the greater. We also don't want it to be equal to 9, so 1 is not included in our solution set. That's why we're going to pick answer choice C. Question number 8. I'm sorry, let's go up to question number 6. Number 6 gives me an equation. In an equation, there is exactly one solution or one number that makes it true. I notice in my equation that I have numbers that are in the tens place. So I can go ahead and multiply each piece of my problem by 10. As I do that, the negative 8.5 will become negative 85. So I have negative 85x, or I'm sorry, m plus 105 should be equal to negative 1,000. Without the decimals, this problem does become a little bit easier. The opposite of addition is subtraction, so I'm going to subtract 105 from both sides. This becomes a zero pair. I get negative 85m is equal to negative 1,105. This right here, negative 85m, is telling us that we're multiplying. The opposite of multiply is division, so I'm going to divide both sides by negative 85. Negative 85 divided by negative 85 simplifies to a 1, so we're left with 1m is equal to negative 1105 divided by negative 85 is going to give me a positive answer. When I look back at my answer choices, I'm going to eliminate answer choice B and answer choice C because those are both negative numbers. Now I have to decide if I take 1105 and divide it by 85. Some of us really are not strong with division. So let's take our answer choices and use them to our advantage. If I take 85 times 100, I get 8,500. Is that what I'm looking for as a value? No, I'm looking for 1,105. So I'm going to cross that answer choice D. I can then check to make sure that 85 times 13 does give me 1105. So without even having to worry about my division, I can get an answer of positive 13. I hope that these strategies are helpful and we get answer choice A. Now the last problem that I'll be doing today is going to be number 8. As I look at number 8, it asks me to look at the equation below. Remember that an equation has one solution. Which of the following represents a solution to the equation above? In order to see what value of n makes the left side equal to the right side, I'm going to have to first take care of the distributive property here with the 2 and 3 plus 5n. Remember that 2 and then 3 plus 5n in parentheses means I have two groups of 3 plus 5n. So 2 groups of 3 is 6. And 2 groups of 5n is 10n minus 4n minus n equals 1. The negative 4n and the minus n, nothing happens to that yet. I'm going to combine all my like terms. 10n, negative 4n, and negative 1n, since they all contain an n, can be combined together. So 4 negatives and another negative make negative 5n's, and 10n minus 5n gives me 5n. So 6 plus 5n is equal to 1. This is a two-step equation that we've done since the beginning of the year. This 6 is a positive 6 because there is no negative in front of it. So the opposite of addition is subtraction. I'm going to subtract 6 on both sides. I get a zero pair. 5n is equal to negative 5. This means that 5 times a number is negative 5. The opposite of multiplication is division. N is equal to negative 1. Negative 1 is the number that when I substitute it back into the problem, the left side of the equation will have the same value as the right side of the equation. Please feel free to bring any questions you have to class tomorrow.
Keep it there.